Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Hunter Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm fempreneur extraordinaire, tech diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
Happy
Friday.
Happy Friday. I have got to stop sipping during the countdown because I was literally trying to swallow a sip before. And I almost
My goodness. Yeah, just wait. We got plenty of time.
Yeah. So, y'all, welcome to our special Friday pop-up live. And look, y'all know why we're here. Y'all know why we're here. The same reason why everybody else is here. Y'all, Katt lit the world on fire. You know what I'm saying? And listen, my whole timeline, I think everybody's timeline has been nothing but Katt Williams. But
pretty much.
You know, and if
watch, right? Like I didn't intend to watch that till like this weekend because I saw how long it was. I was like, oh, I'll catch it this weekend. And then it was everywhere. And I was like, let me watch this.
Yeah, all 2 hours and 46 minutes. And he spared no expense on everybody. And nobody. Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, wait, like what? Fingers get to go.
Yeah, you didn't even want me to get to watch it. He called me twice. Have you seen it yet? I was like, hey, I'm at church. I was trying to get my New Year blessing on. He called me fresh out the parking lot. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Let's go. She's like, let me watch it. I'm like, man, look, we got to get up with this.
Yeah. So
I was calling. Listen, Maisha told me stop calling her.
I'm telling you.
And he got some one-liners for you in that. But we also have a surprise for y'all in a few minutes, and we're gonna bring that in. But y'all, we are not going to waste time or waste anybody's time. So before we get into it, though, we got to pay these bills, right? So let's get these bills paid real quick. Y'all, as always, the XrossroadZ Podcast is brought to you by the House of 334.
It's the house.
For all your business branding and copyright needs, go to houseof334.com. It is Black owned, it is woman owned, it is Black woman owned, and it is amazing. Also, the XrossroadZ Podcast is brought to you by The Crossroads. Y'all, you can go to our bit.ly, that's bit.ly/The Crossroads. That's XROSSROADZ to find everything that we do, all of our socials, all of our upcomings, and most importantly, the link to subscribe. Y'all, if you are watching this on YouTube right now, scroll down, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Hit the notification so you know when we're going live. For those of you who are watching us on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. Subscribe. For those of you who are watching this on Instagram Live right now, come on over to YouTube. Subscribe. Share this. Have your friends subscribe. We are less than 20 subscriptions away from meeting our first goal, y'all. And this has been the longest 20 subscribers. I don't know how we get 100 in a week, and we taking months to get 20. But we're gonna do it. We are not going to be discouraged. We are going to get there, but we can't do it without you. And speaking without you, we continue to just be blessed with those who donate to the show, y'all. So you can also at our Bitly, those who want to donate. We thank everyone who continues to, and those who want to. A little or a lot always helps, y'all. This is a labor of love, but love ain't free. And if you think it is, go tell your landlord that you love them. All right. So that's how you pay these bills around here, so we can keep this thing going.
Holla.
Have you told your landlord that you love him yet?
No, I don't think they care.
Mine care on the
you
first.
love to pay.
Yeah, nah. My landlord's trying to negotiate with me right now. But y'all, I know how y'all love to sit and hear me and Dre go back and forth every week. But this week, every now and then we have somebody that's gonna come and chime in and join the conversation. And today we have one such person. Y'all, I've known this brother for lots of years, and he's far more modest than I'm about to make him right now. Y'all, he's a phenomenal, you know what? I'm not even going to call him an actor. He's an entertainer, right? Because not only does he act, he dances. Not only does he dance, he raps, right? So he's an all-around entertainer. You have seen him in big movies like Fat Albert. You've seen him alongside Denzel Washington in The Great Debaters. You have seen him in Stomp the Yard and many, many more films. His resume is ridiculous. He's a phenomenal talent. And this my boy, this my homeboy. So without further ado, I want y'all to give it up and welcome Mr. Jermaine Williams to the Crossroads.
What up, yo? What's good? What's good? What's good? Beautiful introduction, man. Hey, Barzini, I must say, it's my first time to the platform, and it's beautiful. I love what you and Dre are doing, so thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. So, y'all, I'm gonna just give you a little tidbit because backstage before the show, y'all. First of all, you see how humble he is right now. But I was telling you, if I played alongside Denzel in passing, like if I was at the Laker game and sitting next to Denzel, do you understand how I would use this? Right?
You would take full advantage of that plug. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be acting like I'm just hold up. I'm acting like I'm on the phone. Oh, my bad. That was Zell. You know what I'm saying? He had another project he was trying to pitch to me. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it.
Told him I think about it. You feel me?
And that's why certain people can't get certain blessings because
you got options. Hey, you got options. You got Denzel number. You must have options. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get them digits, but it's all good. I can still say I was in a movie with him. You feel me?
As long as you got the proof, you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
There's two things that I always said that the world is blessed that God didn't give me. And that's a full beard and the ability to sing. Because
be a menace.
Listen, do you know how big of a problem I would be? You know what I'm saying? I would never leave my beard alone.
Trust me, bro. I got the Anthony Hamilton patches too. You know what I'm saying? I can't fully grow through. I got the patches. Like my beard doesn't raise up on my cheeks. It's like lower tier.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. I get little sprouts, but on my cheek, you know how cats be having the full grown up here. Yeah. I don't get none of that. None of that.
See, I get it, but it don't go all the way. It's like reaching. It's like I got a cliffhanger. It's like right. It's still.
Maybe we need to use them chia seeds. You need to use them chia seeds.
Something.
Them seeds, the chia, whatever.
Yeah. I'm tired of the buffering beard. So
right. That's. the loading beers.
Right, just put this little circle. We'll be
hilarious.
Moment. So look, we're gonna get into it this week, y'all. We don't have a menu of topics like we normally do. There is only one topic today. We don't know where this is gonna go, but wherever it go, that's where we're gonna take it. Katt Williams, you know what I mean? Like, bro, one, you working in the industry, you being around a lot of people. Let me just start with you. What were your initial thoughts like when you heard about it? Like, did someone send it to you? Were you scrolling and you just saw it? Like, just dive in about just like what we're experiencing right now.
I think it's one of those situations, man. Shout out to Club Shay Shay, man, Shannon Sharp, for having such a great platform. He has a few of them that's actually really dope. You know what I'm saying? But with this one in particular, I think his team definitely he added at least 10 more people to a promotional team. Because when I tell you they promoted the crap out of it, like as soon as it was like over, I don't even think they edited anything. Like it literally would just
Right.
guns a blazing. Katt Williams, we got to put this out to the world. And they have just going on YouTube. If you look at it, they have at least coming from Club Shay Shay, they have at least 4 or 5 different versions. They have a version, the full extended version. If you don't want that version, they got like a 30-minute version that just compacts all the initial, all the initial just gunshots. They got a half hour, so they definitely promoted the crap out of it. You know what I'm saying? But out of everything that I took from the interview, right, I think the one that most resonated with me was Katt Williams' beef with Ricky Smiley and how he got the role of Santa Claus and Money Mike. You know what I'm saying? Now, I did do my research to go back to kind of listen to Ricky Smiley's interview. And what I want people to really know is the audition process isn't just black and white. There's a lot of gray area there. I want y'all to know there's so many moving pieces when it comes to it. Now you realize there's hundreds of people that audition for certain roles, and especially if you have a big role. You get what I'm saying? And it's one of those situations where a production can literally tell you that you have something one day, and then the next day literally be like, you don't have it. Like that literally happens. You know what I'm saying? Or if they like you well enough, if you're not right for the first part that you auditioned for, you may be considered for another role, which I think that's what happened to Ricky Smiley. But the thing is like nobody gives grace to Ricky Smiley's story because of how humble he came about it. I think we're so drawn to like ratchet delivery. We're so prone to ratchet delivery and aggressive delivery that if it's that aggressive and that passionate, then it has to be fact. So without even taking consideration with anything that Ricky Smiley said, I think a lot of people just took everything that Katt Williams said at face value. And I kind of feel like that's disingenuous and not fair, to be honest with you. That's my point.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't see Ricky Smiley's conversation with Shannon. So I think I took it at face value. And even Shannon said that, like, when you're hearing information for the first time from somebody, you just give them the benefit of doubt that they are telling you the truth. And so that's how I was like, Ricky Smiley got on there and said, he originated it and all, the way that the story was presented. And then the next morning, of course, he gets on the radio show and shares what happened. I'm like, oh, that sounds a little more plausible than, the way that we got it. So,
yeah, I liked his, like, if I was Katt, Ricky's story actually makes Katt look better, to be honest, because he didn't say, well, he said, I auditioned for it. That's the role that I got. And then Katt auditioned. They saw Katt and was like, he was so good. It's like, hey, Ricky, we gonna have to give you, like, I would have just ran with that. You know what I mean? Because that makes me look even better. And what I think is real interesting is how people ran with the narrative that they liked, or like you were saying, like the delivery with Katt. And so Ricky came in, then he had his manager, or I don't know if it was a producer or his manager on the
line. I think it was like his ex-manager that came on to kind of solidify and kind of validate his claims, his story.
Right. And so when I said that, I was like, oh, well, Ricky came with receipts, and then it was like, oh, but it was his manager, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, okay, but what receipts did Katt bring?
Facts.
Katt gets to bring his word. He brings somebody to corroborate his story, but it's invalid because he's close to him. And Katt kept saying, oh, and there's hundreds of people to validate this. Okay, you name it.
Where they at?
Where they at? Like, names.
Where they at?
Everybody else name.
Right. But I'm gonna let you know this, man. I honestly feel like it's Katt Williams. Katt Williams, because of the stance he makes against the industry, he's so very pro-black, right? He's anti-Illuminati. He's anti-industry. I won't say he's not a yes man. He's never afraid to say no to certain things he's uncomfortable with. So I think a lot of people take pride in that, and they kind of like they're drawn to that and respect that kind of stance that he has. And because he has that voice, I think he's a huge influence on people that he talks to. You get what I'm saying? So because of how aggressive he is, and he stands 10 toes down and everything that he says, a lot of people are going to kind of just say, I guess, believe everything that he says at face value. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make it fact. Because personally, I feel like he comes across a bit bitter, angry, and all the people that he took shots at are very successful. Let's get that across. Everybody is literally, and they're right. Right. They're 50 plus. Katt Williams is 52. Chappelle's in his 50s. Kevin Hart is in his close to mid 40s. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, my thing is, you're taking shots as if we like some young rappers, and it's like everybody's established. You know what I mean? And the thing is, what I love most is how everybody responded to Katt Williams' interview. Extremely humble. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make them look bad, but it's some kind of way. I feel like Katt Williams is the guy that everybody loves to hate and love at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
He's like that bad kid that you want to choke, but hug him at the same time.
I went to school with a fool like that. His name was Saitel. Saitel used to know how to box. He always come up punch you and this and that. But then he was always like a Sour Patch Kid.
Then he could
do something real weird, yeah. Like, and then be like, boy, you know I'm just playing with you, boy. You don't know whether to.
Let me get. He was bigger than
everybody. Are we good? Are we good?
But you know you my home.
Put you in a headlock and you fake laughing like you hurting me.
Right. Man. But so here's what I think that this Katt Williams interview was. It was 2.5 hours of two truths and a lie. Right. And this is what was masterful about what he did. Because one, Katt was lying about a lot of stuff. Right. Keep it a buck with that. There was a lot of lies told. I only believe about 25% of everything he said. Right.
Only 25.
He read 3,000 books a year. I was like, wait, how many?
Katt was on there like a cheating dude, right? Because what do dudes always say when they cheating? What I got to lie for? Right. That's the first line. I ain't even got a reason to lie, you know. And when someone says I ain't got a reason to lie, it's usually because you got a reason to lie, right?
Jeez.
I'm just saying. I've said it, but I actually don't have a reason to lie. But he kept saying that, but I'm like, dude, you couldn't so you read 57 books a week. Because that's what the math is.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Right.
People will actually believe that though. And I'm gonna tell you what called him out as a liar. It was all the rubbing on his legs and knees.
Oh.
He did a lot of rocking, a lot of sipping, a lot of rubbing of the thighs and knees. I was like,
yeah.
What are you coming down from, sir?
Right. But no, the crazy part is I'm not under the influence. I'm never under the influence.
I'm gonna point this out. I honestly feel like if Katt Williams had came at an angle where he was vulnerable and kind of exposed some of the things that he didn't do so right in the industry, I feel like it would have been received a lot better. And I feel like Kevin Hart said it too. He was on the Breakfast Club protecting Tiffany Haddish because this ain't the only interview that Katt Williams and disrespected some folks. He when I tell you, he literally took a crap on Tiffany Haddish unwarranted. Like, she didn't deserve none of that. Saying she didn't deserve the role in Girls Trip, how it was about 46 comedians that could have had that role, how she didn't write any of her lines, anything like that. Anybody can read and do her role, it still would have came out the same movie. That's a lie. And the fact that you want to just kind of just discredit her like that, I feel like it's totally unnecessary, man. You get what I'm saying? But if he came out humble and vulnerable and said, you know what, I've dealt with this, I've messed this up in my career, and I've redeemed myself, and then took shots at everybody else, I feel like it would have been a nice balance, a fair balance.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
Yeah. I just wonder what he stood to gain. Like, what does any, and let me be clear.
A new tour.
Yeah, because those seats are flying.
Yeah, but you got cats like, okay, let's say this. Like Faison. He took shots at Faison, but Faison,
I think he deserved them shots.
Yeah, because he keep people name in his mouth, right?
Faison, fat liar.
Right.
A fat Faison liar.
Those parts, those like Faison stay. I'm like, dude, what do you do outside of Big Worm? Like, what do you even know?
And the Parenthood. He was on the Parenthood.
I'll be honest with you, man. That was some of the percentage I definitely believe Katt was talking about.
Me too.
Faison feels like he's like the delegate of everything that's stand-up comedy. And he's never ever had a special. I think I've seen one where he was in Long Beach somewhere. It may have been like on pay-per-view for like $5.99 if you subscribe to it. But it's like it really wasn't like a special. You know what I mean? But even with that, he wasn't funny.
Right.
He wasn't funny at all. But he stays talking crap, like you said, Barzini. He stays talking mess. So for him to get shot at, I wasn't too mad at that.
Right. But so I had a conversation with a comedian, and I won't name his name because this was a private conversation. But I asked, why do comedians always take shots at Kevin Hart? Right. Because I feel like Kev just be minding his business. You know what I'm saying? And this is a comedian that's close to Katt, right? And so what he told me was, he was like, I like Kev, but Kev is like that dude when you young that snuck in the movies through the back door. And he's like, and real dudes is cheering him on because you want to see him make it inside. They like, yeah. And then he get in there and start telling other people like, hey, y'all keep it down, and start acting like CEO of the movie.
So, you know what's crazy? I feel like what Kevin's going, I feel like they're doing to Matt Rife right now, the white comedian, young white guy.
I know Matt Rife. I heard that he's getting. I don't know what happened though. I didn't see that.
So the thing is, like, he's literally blowing up in front of everybody's eyes, right. And it's one of those situations where cats that's been doing the work or been on stage for years and years trying to get their breakthrough, they haven't got it, and this young white dude got it. So now it's like, man, his Netflix special wasn't even that funny. He's not as funny. It's like, dude, it's like it's his time right now. It's like his time.
I heard he's under fire right now. Like people trying to cancel Matt Rife because of something. But
I think he may have said something. I don't know exactly what it is that he said. I think he is catching fire, but you know, whatever the case may be, he's like the guy right now.
Yeah,
doing stand up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Kevin Hart's definitely gotten the same kind of maybe hate or whatever, but it just wasn't. Kevin Hart was not an overnight success, y'all. Like he's been doing this for a while. Like.
And Kev has had more longevity probably than anybody we've seen.
True, because he's marketable.
Yeah,
and he's great at marketing himself. He's great at it.
Yeah.
So
we've normally seen comedians that are like there's ebbs and flows. Like somebody's at like Katt was the guy for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like after Pimp Chronicles, Katt was that dude. You know what I'm saying? And then after Kev did that Sid the Entertainer and Shaq special, when he did that set, that's when. You know, like he had been doing it, but that performance is what started to skyrocket him. But Matt Rife, I think his gift is the crowd interaction.
Oh, he's genius with it. Like just him off the top of the dome having conversations with people in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? His improv going back and forth is insane. He's one of the best crowd workers I've seen in a minute, man.
He had a clip. Did you see that clip when that lady had a seizure during the show?
Yeah, and he stopped the whole thing, had security and everything, and then he was able to kind of talk with her after, and then still was cracking jokes about her.
Yeah.
I was
like, how do you come back from this? Like, how do you bring this back to the show?
That
was dope to me. But I still like, okay, I just don't get, like, you're on Club Shay Shay. You know what? Never mind. I do get it. I do get what you stand to gain by because they was even saying during the show when Shannon was like, I'm gonna get canceled. He's like, no, you not. people's about to people about you about to have Oprah on here next.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he understands people clearly, right? So we looked at some of Shannon Sharp's earlier videos, and some of them have taken months to get to 1 million plus views, and now you're looking at close to 20 million views in 48 hours. Like,
Yeah, this shot the value of Club Shay Shay up to the sky, like
right.
outer space. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's to this point, he's about to get really, really huge people to come to his show, which is dope. And I feel like Katt, in a way, kind of helped him do that. In the way that he did it, it kind of sucks because, you know, he took shots at some of these people that we love and adore for so many decades, but it happened how it happened.
yeah.
Do you think it'll change the format, or maybe like, do you think people will start to come to this show now because this show has been pretty tame until now?
It's been pretty tame. Yeah, depending on the personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's had a couple of controversial interviews, but nothing of this sort. I don't think nothing of this caliber. You know, so now it's drawing another more attention to the show, but it's one of those situations where I feel like Shannon Sharp is smart enough to kind of like know who he's bringing on and know not to bring so much ratchet. I think he just kind of gave the platform for Katt Williams to kind of go off like he wanted to. Now, I will tell you this was the first time I ever saw Shannon Sharp speechless like he was. Right. Like he was shuffling through cars, and then he got to the point where he just kind of just laid back like, what else you gotta tell us, Katt? Like, man, like what's going on?
Right.
He had him staring like, come on now, Katt. You know, come on now, Katt.
But
come on now, Katt.
You know
that ain't true.
Get a word in edgewise because Katt was just going. You know what I mean?
Right. And he won't let you talk. Katt does not let you talk at all. Like, he'll keep cutting you off. And it was kind of low key throwing shots at, like, you know, the things that he's like, it's not your style, Shannon, to have losers on this show. I don't know why you would have them on my show.
No, this is what okay, this was my favorite part of the interview, though. I'm sorry. So when he was
I think you posted it, bro.
Yeah, he was talking about Faison, and Katt sits back. He's rubbing his knees. He takes a sip of his drink. He's kind of side-eyeing Shannon. He goes, your unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
That's crazy. The wordplay is insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
But when you
listen, I'm not dissing Katt. Katt is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
When I tell you he's one of the most innovative, funny guys that's ever touched the stage, I mean that. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, well, just kind of stay in your space, in your lane. Like, what warranted all this stuff? And people keep saying, well, they went on Shay's show and this and that. First of all, everybody did this. I feel like a couple people were just innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors was an innocent bystander, bro. Like he was an innocent bystander. Earthquake was an innocent bystander.
Earthquake, definitely.
To call that man illiterate, he can't read. He gave him his own show. He couldn't read the cue cards. And it's like, bro.
That's crazy. But and Earthquake, have you seen Earthquake special?
Bruh, so first of all, this is my unpopular opinion, and I don't care who's watching. Earthquake is funnier than Katt Williams. Period. If you don't believe me, watch his special, and you'll probably still be in denial. But Earthquake special was brought by Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle gave him that opportunity. Earthquake special is funnier than Katt Williams. Period. I don't care what you say.
When he did the bit about the prostate exam,
bruh, the colonoscopy, bruh, I was on the floor.
Earthquake is a beast, bro.
He's hilarious and extremely underrated, bro.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know if Katt is watching. Like, did you see the Kevin Hart and Chris Rock special?
No, the kind of like documentary, kind of like, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen it yet.
So it was real interesting, but like at the end, because Dave Chappelle, they wanted him on that as well. and Dave was, doing Dave. But he just at the end to see all three of them on stage at the same time. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, right? Like these are the rock stars of the comedy game right now. Like, and a lot of people, it's hard for, like, Richard Pryor, I guess is looked at like Michael Jordan as far as comedy is concerned. Right?
Absolutely. I agree with that.
But I think that people won't hand over the torch out of respect instead of actual like success. Because I made a comment and said that Kevin Hart is probably the most successful comedian we've ever seen. And then people was like, well, bigger than Eddie Murphy? Yeah. Like Eddie Murphy had 2 specials. Now, granted, they're iconic, Delirious and Raw, right? They're the first of its kind. You can't take that away from Eddie, right?
So this is my thing, because I feel like, I mean, you can have these battles about rappers, MCs, the whole nine. What criteria puts you in a great status? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what my thing is, does success, because of how much success you have and money, does that make you one of the greatest comedians? Because the thing is, like I said, Kevin Hart is extremely marketable, has been able to promote himself. Does that attach itself to comedy though? Like, because the thing is, you could promote something all day. It doesn't have to be funny. You get what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say yeah, because it's like this with anything, right? When we talk music, we talk about the music business, right? We talk about the industry and everything else. And I don't believe that only what you do on stage matters, right? I feel like it's all encompassing, and you can't get. So you got the people that say, oh, Kevin Hart's not funny. His career says otherwise. You don't get to where you are without somebody thinking you funny. And what's going to, like, you might get movies and stuff like this, but who have you seen sell out stadiums, not arenas? Kevin sold out a football stadium, bro.
True. So this is yeah. Go ahead, you got it.
He's following Eddie's blueprint, right? He looked at Eddie and was like, I want to do, which is why he was wearing leather. He wore leather on like this because Eddie wore leather. Eddie wore leather, I'm wearing leather, blah, blah, blah. So it wasn't a shot at Eddie. It's like, I'm going to take what Eddie did and I want to make it bigger. So Kev took his comedic talent, right? Whether he's funnier than Eddie or not, debatable. Okay, cool. But what he has done business-wise, like, and then the system and then the team and the cats that he put on, and I'm taking the Plastic Cup Boys with me, and now I'm making movies. Like he's a whole brand, right? Eddie was a name, Kev is a brand. I'm not saying Eddie wasn't a brand, but Kevin is blatantly a brand. Like now I got my own radio
burger shop. He got his own burger shop.
Yeah, like, and so Kev is literally anything that I want to do, anything that I can imagine, I'm gonna do that because I can, because of what I started with comedy. I was so good at comedy that I was able to branch off into literally anything. I got a liquor.
So is it fair to say that Kevin Hart is the Drake of comedy?
Okay.
Yeah. Or that's how I look at it. Huh?
Or Jay-Z.
Yeah, either or. I mean, because the thing is, business-wise, on the business, I feel like I say Drake in the simple fact of Kevin Hart has nonstop product that continuously to come out. And I feel Drake does the same thing. He releases music nonstop, like no breaks. You get what I'm saying? I'm more of a quality, more of a quantity type of person. I'm not taking anything away from Kevin Hart. You get what I'm saying? I'm just one that like give some time for people to miss you type thing. That's where I am. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved that. So anytime I hear Drake on the radio, it's literally going to be for the entire year. And then no breaks. Kevin Hart comes out. At one point, he was putting out like 3 movies in a year, 4 movies in a year. And it's like, man, this is a lot of Kevin Hart. You get what I'm saying?
But let me ask you.
But at the same time, people love him. People will support. People love him. Right.
But I say this, Kev is also a victim of his own success, right? Because when you put out something as great as he did, like, okay, he followed the Sid and Shaq performance up with I think Seriously Funny and then like Laugh at My Pain, right?
Yep.
And so now those so Grown Little Man, Seriously Funny, Laugh at My Pain are probably his three funniest to me.
Yeah, those were his Kanye's, bro.
Right?
Those were his Kanye's.
His Kanye, like first three album Kanye, right? So when you put that level of quality, no matter how long you wait, it's hard to follow that. And one, it's hard for anybody to follow that, let alone yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kanye is still great at music, but Kanye has yet to duplicate the level that he did. And I want to say those Hunger albums, right? Like I'm hungry. I'm not yay yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think we got the best of Kanye. Then he got to the level where I can just do what I want. I feel like doing whatever the PD Pablo, whatever it was, and Yeezus, okay. Like that wasn't for the Yeezus was not for the people. Yeezus was
of course. But I feel like we get all across the board. I feel like when you get to a certain level, and at one point, you're relatable to the people. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how far your success is, or how high of a tax bracket you get to, whatever the case, because of your success, I think at some point you become non-relatable to the people because they're still kind of down here, and now you're leveling up. So now you're kind of like appealing to the people that are in the same kind of tax bracket. How we always say, you have rich people problems now. And a few of his comedy specials have kind of shown that, and it doesn't have that same hunger. So I think it's one of those situations where it's hard. And I feel for Kevin, because the simple fact is, I know he's still trying to relate to the people, but he can't help it. Like you said, he can't help that. He can't help the level that he's on. He can only speak of what he's living through right now. Right. So I totally get it.
So I wonder what's Katt living through right now.
That's a good question. And I'm gonna make this point. I think the only thing that makes Katt Williams so, like, I guess, relatable is the fact that he is super pro-black. That he isn't like he goes against the grain, white people, pedophilia, people who rape women, whatever the case may be. He goes against all those things that we highly respect, and we love that he takes that stance. But personally, we know nothing about him like that. Mm-hmm. Do we know anything personal about Katt Williams like that? Like he's never had like a sat down, heart to heart kind of like conversation, more than we've had like with these other people he took shots at. We know about Steve Harvey. Yeah. We know about Kevin. We know about Dave Chappelle, how they came up, where they grew up. Yeah. They've been able to be like relatable. I know nothing about Katt Williams. Nothing.
Shannon was trying to ask him last night. So Dre, what do you think about? Yeah. I'm just saying, like, what do you think? Because he came in guns blazing, and then when Shannon started asking him questions about him, like, what was your take when he started talking about his childhood, and then it just started coming back?
It felt like he wasn't being as open as he was with his critiques. So, right when it came to
speak on it,
when it came to the relationship with his dad, like I didn't know that his parents or his family was Jehovah's Witnesses. Like all that was new information to me, and so I wanted to hear
more.
How do you wind up, where you are? And it was disjointed, to say the least. Like I'm not really sure. Like it's leaving us kind of guessing. Like clearly there was an altercation, but I'm not really sure why. He said something about being accused of being sexual, but he was a virgin, and then it was when I tell you something's wrong, you don't believe me. So I was like, was he abused? Like I don't know. I was grasping at straws, and then he hitchhiked across America at 13
with $2,500 in his pocket
and his Rottweiler puppy. So it was entertaining.
2,000.
Katt is so random. Like he's so random. Like he'll just literally just put stuff out there, and people gravitate to it. You know what I'm saying?
Here's where he started losing me, because right after the shots fired and everything else, he goes into talking about how athletic he was, and he was like, I'm 100 years old, but we can go outside right now and I can run a 4.340. And then he goes sub 4.3. He said run a 4.16. Now, for y'all, just to put into context how fast a 4.16 is, the fastest recorded time for the 40-yard dash in the NFL combine is 4.22.
Sheesh.
So what you're telling me is that you are faster. And look, far be it from me to call you a liar. I just don't believe you're telling the truth. That you're running. And who clocked you? Who clocked you at 4.16?
Who had the stopwatch?
Right? When was this? Right? So you went from a 4.16 to you read 3,000 books a year from ages 8 to 12. You relinquished a scholar. You failed on purpose so that you couldn't get a scholarship instead of just not accepting it to the Science Academy, because you didn't see at 12 years old, you didn't see it as an opportunity because this is how you were thinking at 12. And then by 13, you know, it could only be you or your dad. We don't know what happened because you were using very vague language in that explanation. So it's like every time a question came to him, like, have you ever been married? So the thing is, when he was asked about other people, he answered very quickly. If you notice, every time he was asked about himself, there was always a long pause. There was always a long pause, like, and he was very calculated in what he says about himself.
There's something he's protecting. He doesn't want people to know about,
or wants you to believe.
Or wants you to believe, or he was trying to think of maybe another lie. But my thing is, it's one of those situations. It's so easy to take shots at people and make them vulnerable, but not make yourself as vulnerable as the shots that you shooting. And I think that part is extremely unfair, and why I didn't really gravitate towards the interview as much as other people are.
Yeah.
So
we have questions and comments that are coming in. First, why do we need to know people's backstory? Like, they tell jokes. So
of course.
I think we were talking about, you're talking about the people that he was talking about, clearly, and then himself. There was some missing information, but not in general that you need someone's backstory. Was that accurate? Like you're saying, we don't know anything about him, but we know about all these other people.
I think it's one of those situations where I think people that we love and adore, we look up to, with big personalities, most of the times they are open about their come up, how they came up, how they raised, where they're from, this and that. I think that's what makes them relatable. You get what I'm saying? And you think of any comedian, somebody like a Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is an open book. You know what I'm saying? He tells you stories about his Diddy experiences, about how he came up, where he grew up, how he got his name, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Steve Harvey, we know insides of him. Some of his stuff is questionable too, but at least he opens up a door to make it seem like believable. You know what I'm saying? Like where he grew up, he claimed he was homeless. Now Katt's saying he wasn't homeless. Like, was he there in the car when he got the call to book, Showtime at the Apollo? He said he was homeless then. Apparently the Katt, Steve Harvey was making $3,000 at that point. My thing is, I feel like Katt Williams is literally a spirit that is in everybody's lives and can tell everybody about how they grew up, what they've been doing, what kind of false lives they be living. It's weird. I think it's kind of weird. You get what I'm saying? And to me, it's one of those situations. Is Katt a real pimp or is this a persona? We don't know.
No, well, he did address that because he was talking about like when he played Money Mike, he was studying a real pimp that he knew and like fashion the character. So like the pimp stuff is like a character thing that he does, right? But like, I just don't understand if it was about comedy. You didn't keep it at comedy. You started
right. He took personal shots.
Talking about men's wives. Like what Ludacris got to do with you? Oh, we was at an Illuminati meeting and they said
hilarious.
Right.
That was hilarious. Here's another comment. What I find interesting is that people want to pick apart his lies, but mad that he was on there picking apart other people's lies. Well, so let's talk about that. Like, I think from what I've read, people are excited about what happened because
that was a loaded statement, man. I don't know. The thing is like that seemed to me, the statement to me was like, leave Katt alone, let him do what he's doing. But at the same time,
No,
it's like let him be free to take shots at everybody. Like
you
that's
can't
That's what I'm
call
saying.
people liars while you're lying.
right.
But people are only considering, I think, what's my experience if somebody lied on me. Like if I had the opportunity to air somebody out that was, now let's say he embellished, because there were definitely some things that sounded like, what does that mean? All of it was an embellishment? No, there were some things that he addressed directly, and he felt like, hey, you've been coming for me for years, you stole my jokes, you've been able to bankroll your life. And maybe he thinks like that, like you were on one of the most successful comedy tours ever on the back of my closing joke. So yeah, I got beef, and I'm about to air it out on this platform in front of 20 million people.
That's crazy. So did you guys ever see the Kevin Hart interview when he was protecting Tiffany Haddish on the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, I did.
Right. So to me, Kevin Hart was extremely passionate about that, and that didn't nearly go as viral. And he exposed Katt Williams in that. You know what I'm saying?
And
but to me, that just kind of
response because Katt was talking about Kev.
Talking about Kev and Tiffany Haddish real bad. Yeah. So again, that interview went viral. Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish didn't. And then this one's going viral for Katt. So it's kind of like, it just shows how beloved he is and has a great fan base that supports him. But at the same time, I'm always like this. As a fan, I'm a realist fan, right? I'm a realist fan, meaning I can love an artist for all it, but if they messing up, I'm going to call them out on their stuff. And for me, if you do love Katt Williams like that, it's like, you have to be real and be like, is all of this stuff, or at least question it, is everything he's saying true? Or are we going to just take it for face value, everything he's saying? Because a lot of that stuff sounded like horse crap.
And so
I wanted to cuss so bad, but a lot of it sounded like like horse manure, man.
I'm like this. If you're promoting what you're promoting, first of all, Katt doesn't need to put anyone down to promote himself. He's funny. Dude is funny. Right. There's no denying. Like Pimp Chronicles is probably one of the best specials I've ever seen.
I agree wholeheartedly.
It is one of the best. So if you stand in on your talent, like you're on this show because you're one of the greats, you can come up there and talk about your comedy. We want to know about Katt. It would have been one of the greatest interviews, right? Especially if you pride yourself on saying, I don't go to everybody's interview, right? Now, I've seen folks saying like, oh, they took shots at him first. No, they didn't. Katt was on a tour talking about people. Like there's a video of him challenging Kevin to $5 million and like blah, 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 blah. Like I've never seen Steve Harvey say a single word about Katt, right? Now,
well, let's also be fair. Every time someone talks about you, it's not necessarily in public, right? Like there may be some things going on in the industry. It might be some things
behind closed doors and stuff.
I'm not saying it is, but it could be possible. That, he never how many times how many times has somebody tried to be slick with it silently, and then you raise up and people only see you, right? And you're like, well, what's wrong with you? And it's because somebody keep poking you and prodding you, and then, you let them have it. And so I just think he doesn't seem to have a lot of self-control when it comes to certain things. And so he might have just hit his limit. Well,
I'll say this. Anybody who's ever poked me has only done it once. So there's that. Right. Oh, so let's start there. But we've got video after video. Ain't funny or marketable as we've seen or led to believe. But okay, so let's
Kevin Hart isn't marketable.
First of all,
he's the most marketable comic out. Like literally, like the number one marketable. This man has his own vegan burger chain. He has shows he's producing. He's not even in the shows. He produces the show Dave. That's through his production company. This man is huge. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, Katt Williams has nothing. If we're talking about just marketability and pushing to the point of success, like a coming of age story, like starting from the bottom that we hear, that is literally Kevin Hart.
We've not seen anything Kev does fail since Soul Plane. And now
True.
that's a joke, and that's a joke.
No,
And
I seriously can't. Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. I'm like, you're right. And the thing is, I'm not even. To me, Kevin ain't even a goat to me. Like, I love Kevin. I
Mhm,
work with the dude. He's hilarious, and I respect his hustle
mhm,
more than anything. This dude's grind is crazy. Even working with him, I saw how confident he is in himself,
mhm.
how marketable he was. Like, when I worked with him on this movie. What's that damn movie called? It was super low budget. It was a super low budget movie. Whatever the case, my first time meeting him.
Was that Paper
Um,
Soldier?
no, it wasn't Paper Soldier. So Paper Soldier was funny as hell. This one came a few years later.
Okay.
It was actually a really small role. Me and him both had. It was kind of like they were making plays on. It was like, what was that damn movie called? I can't think of it.
We'll
I'll
look it
figure
up.
it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, we reenacted the movie Weird Science. I remember Weird Science about the two nerdy
Yeah.
kids
Oh yeah.
that built
Well,
like
that,
this beautiful right.
Kelly
So we
LeBron,
were right. So we were two black nerdy kids that was trying to build a woman from our computer. It just so happened was something went wrong, and this big obese black woman came out the bathroom, and she started chasing us. She started chasing us all around the room or whatever. So I was actually able to escape, and then she took advantage of Kevin Hart. As soon as I find out I forgot the name of the movie. We did this back in like 2006.
I
But
gotta see that scene.
it's just a clip. It's like maybe the scene is maybe like 5-6 minutes, because the whole movie is just kind of like different scenes about different sexual teenage situations. And it's got like these white folks in there. I forgot the name of the movie, whatever the case. But yeah, it was fun working on. But even in that time, you could just see how hungry his drive and how passionate he was about just building himself up, making himself a brand. You know what I'm saying? I remember that same day, he literally did about 3 different Instagram videos just to kind of promote himself. You know what I'm saying? So his drive is impeccable. I don't know anybody with the same drive as Kevin Hart, honestly.
So this is an interesting comment
Okay.
that's up there.
Don't want to wait. Also, just want to make sure that everyone knows, if you want to actually get on air, you don't have to be on camera. You can scan the QR code there, and when we see you backstage, we'll let you in just to, be able to express your thoughts. And we love to have you. So we'll leave that up for a second while you go into your next
Pull your
point. Go
phones
ahead.
out. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just looking at the comment about the cheating comic. What does him cheating have to do with comedy or his
Cheating on all his wives. His shit is
like?
just shoved down the throat. Who are we referring to? Is this Cedric
Kevin.
or
Kevin?
Oh yeah, is it Kevin?
Kevin? Oh,
Kevin Hart. Like, I don't
That's
get
sad.
it.
We like, well, which one is it?
Yeah. Like,
Anybody.
so because he cheated, that makes him not funny. I don't. I don't know. Yeah, and that's so.
Oh, she's talking in terms of marketability, right? So, I mean, I guess it depends on how we're defining.
That still has nothing to do with his marketability. Like, people are still showing up. Like,
I mean, it got to a point. Kevin got scared that he's gonna get canceled for real. Like,
I bet
he was like, when I tell you, he thought his career was probably over.
yeah,
Kevin was scared. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to being in the industry and you kind of like being disingenuous or disrespecting women in any kind of form or fashion, your career is literally on the line. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of get it. What was the comment that just popped up?
Oh, about Tiffany Haddish. Nobody thinks Tiffany's really funny.
But
I mean, and I know when people say,
so listen, this is one thing. I've never heard anybody say Tiffany Haddish was terrible in Girls Trip.
At all.
Not
Like,
one person. Not one person said. She literally almost made the movie. If even with the caliber of actresses she was on screen with, she held her own. She held her own with Queen, Jada, and Regina King, like Regina Bell. I mean, what's her name? Regina Hall. She held her own. So I've never heard anybody say, "Yo, Tiffany Haddish messed up that entire movie." That is a lie.
Can we agree
she was hilarious
between funny in a movie and funny on stage? Because I think that was also Katt Williams' point too, right?
Like, well, that's Mike Epps.
Oh God.
True.
Oh God,
That's
that
Mike
is
Epps.
so
True.
true.
So
Oh
listen,
God, that is so true.
Mike Epps on stage, he has moments. Is it a
No,
consistent funny?
Yeah. Look,
No.
I'll say this
But is
like
he a better
Kid.
actor?
Yeah, he's a
Mike Epps is one of the best comedic actors that's out there in the game.
right. I'll
Period.
say this. Now, when he did the bit about the dude with the little arm, look,
Look, Mike Epps got some hoods. He got some hood stories. I like even the old cat that can't turn around all the way, and you call his name, he got to turn.
yeah,
Mike, he got moments, but I've never seen like a consistent, funny stand-up show with Mike
mhm,
Epps.
yeah,
So
yeah, and
yeah.
then
So that's what. So this comment, I think that's where it starts and ends for some people, and that's why I brought it up. They might think like, oh, she did a great job in that movie, but are we saying she's funny? Or if you're talking about being a stand-up comic, does that always translate over? I'm
I
not sure
definitely
it
feel like
does.
I personally feel like Tiffany Haddish is definitely more funnier on television, film, TV show, whatever the case may be, than on stage. That's my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? So
and so here's an observation since we're talking about Tiffany Haddish. Let's go into women in comedy, right? And I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, there are a lot of women comics that I think they try to make a career by being overtly raunchy. Like most women comics that get famous, it's like they have this super raunchy brand. So when you think like Tiffany Haddish, Monique, Linnell, right? It's heavy cussing, heavy, like let me talk nasty, heavy cussing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering if there's a stigma to for the like we have to be this to be able to compete with like the men in this industry, or this is what people want to hear from us, or like maybe they want to talk about other stuff, but like they're following a certain pattern. You know what I mean? Like, what are your thoughts about like the female comics and like their content?
I feel the same way. I mean, it's almost like a fine line between comedy and hip hop rap. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's definitely male dominated. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Um, there's quite a few female comedians I do like. You know what I'm saying? One of the, I mean, I do like Monique. I do like some more. Melanie Camacho for me is one of my top five female comedians. Melanie Camacho, she's raunchy, but it's funny. It's funny raunchy. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just like in hip hop. I think females that rap, they try to rap and relate to females and maybe about hood stuff that they go through.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way about comedy. I feel like black women comics, stand up comedians try to relate to the women that's in the crowd and the things that they've gone through, whether it has to be sex related or their situations with men,
Mm-hmm.
relationships, whatever the case may be. And I feel like men do the same thing, except they make things relatable to other men. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So, I mean, unfortunately, almost in every genre of whatever, women always kind of somewhat get discredited for being not as equals to men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a bit unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, why can't we just kind of just love and let, folks do what they do?
Right. And so, and Dre, you can like chime in on this. Like, why do for like maybe the reasons you outlined too, but what are other reasons why we haven't seen a woman comic ascend to the Chappelle level, the Kevin Hart level, like the Eddie Murphy? We've not seen a female comic ascend to these heights. Like, what do you think the barriers are? I mean, outside we understand like patriarchy, we understand like
I was gonna
inequities
say
in pay.
nobody wants a woman at that level. If that's
Uh-huh.
you gonna ask the
Only,
question, nobody.
yeah, the only woman I could actually think of is maybe Whoopi Goldberg. She kind of got there.
Yeah, but not for her stand up. Like I think people forget that she did stand up.
Do they?
I think so.
Well,
That's terrible
if
because
somebody
I'm gonna
ain't
be
to
honest
her,
with you. She
there's
was up there
definitely
with the
people who
Billy
know that.
Crystals and Robin Williams and the HBO specials. They literally did
Had one
specials,
together,
all
yeah.
three of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was huge for her in that start. I think her stand up career started all of the like jumping jack flashes and the color purples and anything else she did beyond that. I think her stand up career made a huge impact in that, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's
And I
crazy.
don't hear her
man.
name. I don't hear her name. Like
Yeah.
when giving props to those that came before,
She appealed to white people though.
nobody
She
talks
appealed to
about.
she definitely appealed to white folks.
Absolutely,
Like
absolutely. I'm
Wanda
just saying
Sykes.
that's.
Wanda Sykes appeals to a white audience compared to a black one.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, she's gay, obviously. And then you have somebody like a young Sam J, who's gay. You know what I'm saying? Who's actually appealing to, I want to say, white and black folks.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But she looks like a stud. She's a stud. You know what I mean? So she
But
can
Katt,
kind of like relate in a weird way to like being your homeboy, and then I guess relate because she deals with women too. So that's a whole
Mhm.
kind of that's a whole nother kind of different
And
dynamic.
who
but
I
Katt,
like that's coming up, Shantae Wayans. So I mean,
oh
the
yeah, I
Wayans
follow her.
Oh
family.
yeah,
Yeah, I
there you
follow her.
go.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like her.
funny. Yeah, she's funny. But like when we're talking Whoopi, when you really think about her range, right? And how do you go from Celie to stand up, right? Like, like you probably played the most abused, disenfranchised character that in memory, not even recent memory. Like, who had it worse than Celie, right?
Right. Right.
And
But
then you go to
that just goes to show you how great and how much range comedic actors have, or comedic or stand up comedians have. Look at
Mhm,
the range that Jamie Foxx has. Who would have known somebody coming from color, in Love and Color, would be able to play somebody like Ray, or a
mhm,
schizophrenic violinist in the soloist. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
Jamie Foxx to me has more range than Denzel. To anybody they want to say, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't care what
yeah.
you say.
No, no,
I
no, no, no.
Okay.
I'm not
So
gonna.
fact check. She said Celie didn't come first, so it
Okay.
was.
It was a stand up comedy and then Sealy. Yeah,
Celie.
right, right.
Listen, make sure you. We want to make sure we're correct. We want
Hey,
to make sure
they
we're
be
correct.
fact checking for real. They
That's
they
cool.
up in here
My
fact
point,
checking.
right?
Hold up,
My point
stop
is,
the press.
my point wasn't chronology. It was she did them both.
Okay.
So
Just going
how
from
do
one
you?
to the other.
Okay, so she went from stand up to Celie.
No, I'm just making sure I understand.
No,
what you're
no,
saying.
I get you. I get you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think you responded to the comment.
to the comments.
I'm like, okay.
But look, hey, we got it. She did stand up first. Like,
But yeah, I think that just kind of shows how much range stand up comedians actually have. Mike Epps, I think he has a lot of range.
mhm,
Um, and I don't know. I feel like for me, I feel like somebody like a Marlon Wayans kind of more so did acting first and then kind of did the stand up afterwards.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Marlon Wayans has a lot more range. I like him more on in film than I do his stand up,
mhm.
honestly. You
Yeah.
know, so it just kind of shows the range. Jim Carrey, somebody else that kind of like started off in stand up. You know who else started in stand up? Was Michael Keaton.
Are you
Michael
serious?
Keaton. Yes. Look it up. You got some old footage of Michael Keaton doing stand up comedy. He was a stand up comedian. Jim Carrey, of course,
Yeah.
super range. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Yeah. It's surprising how, like, when you think about Jim Carrey in his comedic roles, because it's like all the buffoonery, like as far as like his brand, to see him outside of that and how wise and introspective he is. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
crazy. Like Jim Carrey would be the last person you think, like when he was doing Fire Marshal, you wouldn't think you'd be taking life gems from Fire Marshal Bill. You know what I mean?
But
And
but man, let's look at Robin Williams, man. I had a chance to work with Robin Williams and The World's Greatest Dad. Great opportunity I had, working with Robin Williams. But Robin Williams had a very dark life, man. One of
yeah.
the funniest guys that's ever given and shown his talents to us,
Mhm,
in this century. And he was going through some dark stuff. Jim Carrey goes through some dark things as well,
mhm.
and unfortunately, even when I came really close to meeting Martin Lawrence, um, he's not as
No,
silly and
I have
outgoing. It's like
I
it's kind
have
of like they
met
have
him.
on, but they have like press on buttons.
Yeah.
So whenever like they're supposed to get on stage, like that persona comes up and it's
Yeah.
showtime, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But then when all the lights and stuff go off, they are regular
Right.
stressful people like the rest of us.
How much of Robin Williams' real life do you think he brought in to Good Will Hunting?
Good question.
Right? Because that role, like what we're describing him in real life, was that character Sean. That was like to think you go from Mork and these whatever role, like Robin Williams when he's in his comedy, but then
Miss Doubtfire, man, come on, man.
Yeah. But no, to go from that and then to that role in Good Will Hunting, like
range, brother.
Range.
That's called range.
And I got to give Kev props too for his range. Like I enjoyed him in Parenthood, The Upside, and what was the Netflix special?
With Wesley Snipes.
Oh, with the brother. Yeah. That's the only one I watched. I won't.
So listen, I've been really wanting to see Kevin show his range on a dramatic level.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's finally done it, I'm super proud of that dude.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart has got a lot of talent, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Range wise, being serious. The movie he said he was raising his daughter all by himself. The Upside was amazing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Kevin's got range too.
There are loads of actors that have moonlighted in comedy. It's in the same wheelhouse. I think I do know some folks that have, started doing stand-up or taking classes or, doing that type of thing. I definitely have heard that. Oh, that's the only one. I'm not trying to come off as a hater, but I can only take Kevin Hart in small increments. So I did not watch. I know which movies you're referring to, but I did not watch them. But I did watch the one with mostly because Wesley.
Can I get your honesty? Can I get your honest up here? What is it, Dre? What is it about Kevin Hart that kind of like allows you to only watch him in small increments? I respect what you're saying too. But I just want to hear a more detailed.
I never really thought about it. Yeah, I'm like, now to have to give detail. The best I have is just like he's just too much. It's just too much. I don't know.
He's Drake.
Well,
he's
okay.
Drake.
So let me say this. My favorite comedic role for Kevin was The Wedding Ringer, where he wasn't even the comedy relief. Josh Gad was. Like,
right. I hated that movie. I couldn't stand it.
But here's the thing. I loved it though. I thought that movie was hilarious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because and this is why I think I love that role because it was so different than the awkward sidekick that he always plays, right? You got the ride-alongs, you got Get Hard, you got Central Intelligence, where he's the Jumanji, the off-colored
little short man complex.
Like all the things. He's got a lot, but that's where he's made his bread. And so he was able to do that. And then I can move into like these other roles. So The Wedding Ringer, he was confident, like, I know this job. I'm conflicted on the inside because I really want friends, but I can't have them because my business doesn't allow. Like, it was interesting. You know what I mean? I think it was a very unique concept. I had a lot of laughs, even though I wasn't looking to Kev for those laughs, even though he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop hugging strangers, like shit like that. Like, God damn it, white people, like when he played the Jew and everything else, like going into these things. So I thought The Wedding Ringer was actually great for me. But
so let me ask a question in terms of getting back to Katt Williams. Do you think with everything that he said, because clearly, like, we're talking about Kevin Hart and all these other people, like, do you think what he had to say will diminish anything about these other comedians, even if they were all true? Like, if he literally laid out the truth about every single person that he spoke about, do you think it will make a difference?
I think the only person that it may affect, not greatly but slightly, is Sid. Right, with the joke stealing thing, because we look at people like we look at comedians like rappers, right? Like, you're not writing your own bars, whatever. They say that about Kev, but then Kev gets a pass because he's putting his boys on and his boys are writing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm doing that because I'm putting them on. But then when you got the side by sides and you're showing proof that said, then they showed what I don't think it's a stolen joke, but it's the same reference, like the Abominicious joke, and then they said it came from Designing Women, and they showed that clip and other stuff. So I think of anybody that was mentioned, Sid will be the most affected by, because
so what if he's like,
I don't know.
What if he just delivered? What if he just delivers someone else's jokes better than No, that's not. We can't give him a pass for that. No.
I don't. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw, but I remember Cedric's joke to this day. I love Cedric's set in the King of Comedy. Right. I feel like their delivery was so different. It wasn't even the same. Like they both made it their own. Like in Katt's delivery, he literally looked like a pimp driving a car. You know what I'm saying? In Cedric's delivery, he looked like somebody's uncle. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just they were so separate and far in between. It didn't feel like the same, like said bar for bar type punchline type stealing joke. I've seen that. Carlos Mensa, he stole jokes.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Who's the white girl with the blonde hair, Jewish, kind of heavy set, looks like a pig a little bit, pigly.
oh, I ain't gonna name no names then.
Amy Schumer,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
Amy Schumer, she's stolen jokes,
Mhm.
like bar for bar stole jokes, like literally, like how we talk about how somebody steals somebody's bars and raps.
Mhm.
That's exactly what she does. I don't take this as that. I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of jokes are definitely similar in reference. And that's what it felt like to me personally. You know what I'm saying? But of course, like I know Cedric's getting a lot of hate right now. And it's unfortunate because I love Cedric the Entertainer. And he's beloved by a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like. Why was these unwarranted shots? To the point where if it was so personal, you took it so personal, Katt, why couldn't you just pick up the phone and have a conversation with your 52-year-old self?
That's not
And
as fun.
yeah, but
That's
also,
not fun.
yeah, but Sid was
He
also
said we wouldn't even be having this show if it went down like that. Okay, I got you.
Sid was asked about the joke, right? It wasn't like these cats are going on Club Shay Shay and just reaching in their pocket and bringing up Katt, right? Like they were asked these questions. I'm not sure that Ricky Smiley was asked. I didn't see how that came up, but it wasn't like they were slandering Katt, right?
No, they were still showing love to the man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Ricky Smiley's response was literally, man, there's no way I could have played Money Mike. There's no way I could play a pimp like that. I auditioned for him, but it just wasn't for me. The right man got the job and he played it beautifully. That's exactly what he said. Humbly.
Right. Now,
Yo, Katt Williams ain't showing no love to nobody.
right. So let me ask you this question. Ice Cube posted a video about 9 minutes long
With the receipts.
with receipts about, so people was like, oh, where's the receipts? You know, and Cube cooperated more what Ricky said, right? Like, hey, you know, he auditioned and they thought he would be better for Santa Claus. And Cube did say as soon as we saw Katt, like we knew he was Money Mike. He did corroborate Katt when saying like, yeah, he improv and wrote a lot of his lines and he made that character. But Cube had to set the record straight about the rape scene. And I don't know where Katt pulled it. Like if it was never in the script, where did Katt get this? Right. And we understand
Dude,
20 years ago.
I'm telling you, he's saying he had control in changing the writing. Like he wrote certain stuff. At that point, the world was getting introduced to Katt Williams.
It was his first movie.
Nobody knew who Katt Williams was before Friday After Next.
First
So
of all,
my thing
I didn't
is,
know his name. I didn't know Katt Williams' name until I went to an episode of Wild 'N Out. Everybody
is called a Money Mike.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So my thing is, as a newcomer, right, coming to set, there's no way you can have access to the writer's room like that.
Mm-hmm.
From my experience, I'm not saying it's true, but it's very hard for me to believe that being a newcomer comic, this being like your first major movie, that you already have control in the writing scenes. Cube literally said it. He said his role was supposed to be short, but because he gave us so much good material, we added scenes for him to shine more.
But here's the part. This is the part. Let's go to the rape scene, right? That Katt had this whole story about how he went to the producers or whatever and was like, you know, I come humbly, but this can be twice as funny without the rape scene. And like he had this whole spiel. And then Cube said it was never in there. Like he was like, I'm not writing. He's like, that's not my style. And then he said, I wouldn't write a rape scene that you would actually even see. And then reference Players Club, like we left that to your imagination. Like we know that
right
there and everything else. Now, this is the person that made the movie, We got two different accounts. Who do we believe? You see
They
what I'm
gonna
saying?
believe Katt, bro.
I'm a roll
You
with
know
O'Shea.
why? Because
You said what, Dre?
Q,
I always roll
they
with
gonna
O'Shea. I don't, I
Uh,
don't, I don't, I ain't never been.
they gonna believe Katt. You know why? Because now, with his attachment to Trump in some kind of way, now people are downplaying Ice Cube's blackness and
mm-hmm,
how much he is for the community. So
mm-hmm,
now you got this super pro black, slick back, permed haired out dude named Katt, who's going against somebody that's dealt with Trump. Now it's kind of like, oh, of course we're gonna believe Katt Williams over O'Shea Jackson. This dude then almost made a deal with Trump. It's like people just take stuff at face value, and we don't know nothing about Katt Williams, like nothing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
I think it's a parallel. It's not clearly not what we're talking about, but we have talked about assault allegations on this show and how hard it is to believe people after folks have
Mhm.
lied, right? And it's kind of looking at this situation because a part of you would say, why would you lie about this? And then, your mind starts going, well, this doesn't make sense. Or this other person is now saying that's not what happens. And it's like, you don't know what to believe, quite frankly. And then it does boil down to, who are you more aligned with, right? Like, oh, I really
Right.
love Katt Williams. I love his specials. I, have a similar background, so I'm gonna roll with him, or I'm a diehard Ice Cube fan, so I'm gonna roll with him, or whatever. And you might not ever get the truth. Like
Mhm.
I don't think for whatever reason that, Ice Cube would set up his camera to lie because he could just stay out of it. But
He could
but
have. He could have. You know what I'm
yeah, like
saying? But at the
you
same
set up
time,
your
it's
camera to lie.
at the same time you're kind of putting a false narrative and a false view on something that Q created. That Q created.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got this original script that Cube had a part of being a writer of, had a rape scene in it. As a writer, that would make me feel good. So of
Mhm.
course, if I was Cube, I'm gonna come online and set the record straight. And again, Cube in his response was extremely respectful and was like, you know what, Katt Williams was 100% on some of the stuff that he said, but I come
Mhm.
to set the record straight
Mhm.
that
And he
Correct.
he
still
didn't
showed
really
Cat
have.
love.
Right. Still show Cat love. Cat didn't have control of the writer's room like that.
Mhm.
Majority of stuff that he's talking about directly came from the writer's room, and we had already written that. Cat had nothing to do with that. And there was no rape scene in the film. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I think one of the things
Yeah.
that concerned me was after it was like, I'm gonna say this about this person, and then I'm gonna juxtapose it to me and show how I would never do that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you had this rape scene, and rape is never funny. And oh,
I mean,
you
it
did
ain't.
right. It's not. But what I'm
it's
saying
not
is,
at all.
it's like I'm gonna elevate myself over something that is said that didn't happen, or this person sold their soul, and oh, I didn't, and they wanted to go to Diddy's parties, and you got to tell Diddy no, and I told Diddy no, I'm not going to your party. And
That was
while
crazy.
you're drinking, talking about I'm never under the influence, and but
Rubbing your thighs and
yeah,
knees.
yeah, I'm a punch said.
Rocking.
I would have punched said in the stomach, and you got choked out by a 15-year-old. This is just a lot of stuff that didn't match up.
Lord have
Like,
mercy.
and I think if you want to clear the air, I just feel like it can be. People are free to say and do what as they please. Of course, I would have just loved to see you respond to it, and you're calling men that are literally all more on paper more successful than you bums, and you're
And not
calling
funny.
and not
Yeah.
funny and
And
can't
he
act.
said they took shortcuts. And okay, strip away the bitterness and the ranting and just and maybe this is my psychology degree coming out, but can you
Mhm.
hear, like, it sounded like her, right? Like, I've been busting my tail for 20, 30 years. I don't know how long you've been doing this, right? 30 years. And yes, I'm successful, but I'm like the people's champ, right? Like, I'm in the streets. But you people, who don't write, maybe not all your stuff, or that I know have stolen some jokes or whatever, you have been elevated to this status that I can't break through to. So, right or wrong, like, I can understand feeling a little like, damn, I'm grinding. I'm hustling. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, hopefully. And
But you were
I feel
already
away.
there.
So let me
Yeah.
let me ask you, like Kevin Hart said it, like he was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was the guy at one point. He was in those rooms, this and that. At this point in Cass, I think he could care less if he's breaking through to make it to a certain level. I feel like he's like the independent artist of comedy. Like he's gonna do everything independently because he know he's not loved by the industry like that.
I don't know if I'm feeling that one. I feel
No?
like you're an independent artist because you got dropped from the label.
True. Okay, I get you that. What I'm saying is there's a lot of things we don't know about Cat that's happened that may have been because of his own downfall. And
Right.
that's the stuff that I feel like he needs to expose and be vulnerable with exposing instead of shooting everybody else down.
Yeah, because
My thing, yeah,
it's giving
right.
it's everybody else's fault that I'm not.
Well, that's
And if you
exactly
were-
what it
and if you
sounds
were-
like.
And it's like if you were handed the world, which he claimed he was on 4 occasions, they offered me $50 million on 4 different occasions.
4 times. That's what he said.
Oh, okay, all right. But I turned him down because
Because I wasn't gonna have. He said Harvey Weinstein offered to go down on him in a business meeting with his whole team, and
That's what he said.
I'm like, okay, maybe that's true. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but whatever the case.
okay.
But
So
you know what I mean. But dude, I just put up a post of it. He has a joke in his tour now where he claims that Jamie Foxx is part of the Illuminati. Like, how do you prove that?
Mhm. And that's so. Here's what was masterful about it. Literally, all his claims are unsubstantiated. Like when you say I was offered $50 million 4 times, how do you substantiate that? There's literally nobody to refute that, right? And that's what's masterful of it because it's reasonable doubt. It could be true, but you can't. Like, I'm not going to prove it, but you can't prove me wrong.
Yeah.
And if you can't prove me wrong, that makes me right. You see what I'm saying? Then you say stuff like every Kevin Hart role came across my desk first. Who's going to prove that wrong? Can Kevin Hart come back and say, no, it didn't go across your desk? Who's going to say that?
Let me ask y'all this. With that being said, do y'all feel like Katt Williams is a good actor?
I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say this. When he was taking shots at everybody's acting, I did say, I'm a formulating a question. Would you go to the movies and watch a movie with Katt Williams as the leading role?
Perm and all.
Right? I'm not saying
Listen, wait, I'm gonna ask the people that's watching, what's Katt Williams' best role? Oh wait.
Money Mike. I'm saying outside of Money Mike. What is Katt Williams? I don't even know what movie. I don't even know what movie it was, but I can just name the scene. The scene when he was in jail and the lady had the white baby.
That was Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah. That was hilarious, right? I don't even remember what movie that was. A School Dance. It was something.
It was called School Dance or something like that. Okay. But it's just like Kevin Hart has never had like a leading role like that. Like
that was me. I'm like, what else was he on? I don't know.
But no, he's done a slew of little movies that you probably
little tidbit features. Like,
oh no, we did not know. She said, y'all realize that he has an Emmy for his role in ATL.
Yes, and I actually watched that episode. He actually did good. He did good, but it's like it's not one of those situations where we can sit up here and say Katt Williams has range like that. Like, he's talking about all these offers he's had. Why didn't he take any offers for the art of it or to show his range? Mm-hmm. We don't know on stage he's phenomenal. We get that, but we're talking about going to another level, getting roles. He had the opportunity to do that, and you know what? I saw a movie with him and Jay Farrow. I forgot what it was called. I mean, and he was just all right. He was just all right in that movie.
Mm-hmm. They say you downplaying his Emmy, saying he did.
I'm downplaying his Emmy. We're literally talking about one episode. He wasn't even a main character in ATL show. He was the
speaking
uncle
on
to
behalf of the
somebody.
people.
He was a feature.
Speaking on behalf of the people. Okay, here's a question that I have. Think about Uncle Shay Shay, right? He's doing his thing. He got his grandma's cognac that he named his cognac after Granny.
That I have to try, by the way.
I was like, I gotta find that. Thinking it's about to be another nice episode, and Katt Williams starts blasting not just people. I can imagine these are people that Shannon has relationships with, right? Like, what do you do when you're talking to somebody?
You do what he did.
Sit back and be quiet, just like he did.
You do what he did.
And let him ramble.
I'm like, I wonder how he feels. Like,
uncomfortable.
He tried to. Oh, come on, man. Oh, we can't let you.
He was. He was feeling the pressure inside.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
But let me do this. I want to take an opportunity to also give Shannon his flowers, because everything that he's doing right now is off the heels of something that happened prior, right? And he was always ready for the opportunity. Even the name of the show is accidental. Like, it's called Club Shay Shay because that's something he made up when he was doing Undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we serving up these L's. You know what I mean? It was a joke. And then it became so popular on the show that he named his podcast after it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it came
he couldn't do much but sit and listen. And that, I mean, I guess so, because you're on a show that's different from, if someone's telling you something, and it's not being publicized to everybody in their mouth.
Yeah. But Shannon.
Not Shannon. Oh God.
And
can't
yet,
formulate 2 or 3 incidents. Well, let me tell you what I felt.
Wait, what? Have you watched this show?
I felt uncomfortable when Katt Williams, who was he talking about? Was it Ricky Smiley about being country? And I was like, Steve. And I was like, I wonder if this man feels any kind of way, because he's, but he's like,
Shannon's country, but I feel like as country as he is, he's very well articulated, to be honest with you.
Right. Shannon it's his charisma. Like, we know he talk funny. He got big teeth. Skip. Look. Okay. Like, but I think that's the thing about him, because he's country. He's gonna be himself. You know what I'm saying? He's in shape. You know what I'm saying? Like, the ladies like him. Like, I can only wish to be as in shape and swole as he is in his 50s. Right.
At that age, he got it.
Them genetics is stupid, right? So, but he had, he was on CBS for a while, and then after Stephen A. left Undisputed, Skip Bayless recognized his work and like wanted Shannon, and Shannon was like the biggest thing going in that debate format. You know what I'm saying? Him and Skip, like, everybody wanted to imitate him. Skip, he came and he has his own style. It's not about his ability to articulate his sentences as much as it is his personality. Oh, go James. Oh, go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
his personality is gold, man. I think that's why everybody loves him and accepts him.
Exactly.
Right.
So now it's like, now he's got these candid platforms, like, and that when he's on First Take, and then he's got 2 successful podcasts. One with Ocho, who's
Ocho Cinco, right? Another good podcast.
Right. And so it's like, let me use, like, no, I'm not as well spoken as, some of these other guys as far as like how I speak. But he gets his point across, and I think it's a lesson to learn, because I'll say this: back when I was doing music, my rap style, I was always trying to put so many words into a bar, right? And for a time, I didn't like Michael Eric Dyson, right? Because I always felt he would talk over people's head, and I'm like, what's the point of having this robust vocabulary if nobody understands what you're saying, right? And so you take somebody. When I was rhyming, I used to love Busta Rhymes, and I wanted to be like Busta, but I don't have a Busta voice. Busta's presence is dumb, and his range, he can go, wah, and then something like with Janet Jackson, like, he can just do anything, and I don't have that vocal presence, so I had to study, and my voice in my presence was more like a Jay-Z, as far as like I'm more soft spoken. He's a lighter voice, and so noticing, like, when Jay rhymes in his songs, if there's a busy beat, he lays back vocally and lets the beat do the work, right? Like, when you think, show me what you got, that track is huge. but his vocals are very simple. You know what I'm saying? Get a drummer some. Shit, I already gave the summer some. It's the winter's turn. Hovey Hove is the code, right?
Yes, it's just laid back flow.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when he takes a simple beat that's not doing much, like Big Pimpin', very simple beat, doesn't change. Now I'm doing more vocally, right? The beat, dun, 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 dun. And so he's like, bah, 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 you know, and so now he's flipping, right? And so he's allowing what the tools that he has to work for him. So when we're talking about Shannon, hey, I may not be the most articulate dude, right? Yeah, I'm country. Yeah, and it's his story. Not only that, his story. I come from poverty. I didn't take a shower indoors for whatever, or use the bathroom indoors for until I was an adult, till I got to college. I slept here, blah blah. And it's like, oh, like this. Look at you now, Shannon. And that's why people love him. And so to the
That's exactly what I said, right? About like nobody knows nothing about Katt.
So yeah, so when we go back,
it's not relatable.
That's why it's people don't relate to you, because they don't know you. We know you're funny, right? But we don't know you. Who is Katt? Why are you called Katt? Like, where does this come from? Who do we, you know what I'm saying? And so we connect to people that we know. We know Kevin Hart. We know his mom died. We know his brother was in trouble. We know, you know, he was like all of these things. And you traveled around and Nate, I forget the guy's name, Robinson, drove you around from Philly to New York every night so you can go do shows. And you was little Kev the bastard. And we know this stuff, right? You've got document. We relate to you. We believe you, Kev, right? It's hard to believe someone you don't know. You feel me? So when Katt,
I don't believe none of them. No.
I mean, or that. You see what I'm saying? Or that. But I don't know. I think that it just goes a long way when you allow people in. You know what I'm saying? Now you can get to certain levels where your mystique is your tool. When we say like a Beyonce who doesn't do interviews, and a lot of people say, "Oh, it's because she can't talk." All right, well, you know.
Oh. People say that? I've never heard
absolutely that. They'd be like, because Beyonce dumb, like, right? Or my personal life ain't really your business. Or people say, oh, well, that's because Jay-Z controlling her. Jay-Z does interviews, not many, but he does. But when's the last time you had a sit down tell all with Beyonce? Right? Mm-hmm. Beyonce's, look, I'm gonna do these albums without y'all knowing. I'm gonna come out, and come Sunday, it's gonna be a whole tour announced, and all of you are coming and so Beyonce figured out I don't have to talk. I'm still gonna sell out.
I'm Team Katt and Team Beyonce. And you know, and everybody's got a team, because like I said, people would not be spending almost 3 hours to watch this episode. I mean, some people are definitely just trying to get the tea, I guess, but there are people that really are Team Katt, even without no.
I'm gonna leave this here. I gotta go soon, but no, I'm gonna leave this here. We do realize like how many times Katt Williams is being arrested, right? We've seen mug shots, a bunch, right? 19. And he looks great. 19, 19? Cool. Mm-hmm. See, so 19. That's quite a lot. My thing is, nobody has ever come after him for those arrests or what he's done and this and that, taking personal shots at Katt. Now, the way he's moving, anybody's liable to come at him for the arrest and his past history and stuff like that. But what for though? It would be no reason to come after Katt Williams in that manner, and for no reason. Everybody's flawed, and my thing is, I want to know Katt Williams' flaws. That's why I would appreciate it if he was able to kind of just be vulnerable and come out like, hey, man, I messed up this role. You know, if I have dealt with drugs, I've dealt with this. Like, I think it'll come across a little bit more humble, because the way he comes across in the interview is extremely arrogant in how everything comes back to him. Steve Harvey wasn't homeless. I was the one that was homeless. I wrote this. I'm the one that introduced Tiffany Haddish to the world. I did this. I'm like, bro, everything comes back to you as if you're like the cultivator and you created everything. And I think it's, I don't know. I think it's a little bogus and a bit out of line, but that's just me.
Okay, I got you. Dre, what are your final thoughts?
I have a lot. My brain is just like, woo. Yeah, like I said, I think it was the underdog's time, on the mic. That just was what it was. I don't know that we could say like, oh, he didn't make the best use of that, and he could have done this and he could have done that. And I just feel like he was like, this is my moment and I'm about to let it rip. And also entertain and also run up these ticket sales and all these things. I don't know, that he was really thinking about, repairing relationships or having relationships. It was just like, look, you've been talking crap about me. I heard about this. I thought we squashed this. We didn't. With the thing with Ricky Smiley, the stories were very similar. I just think that maybe Katt didn't know the part about maybe the character was different before he got a hold of it, right? And so it made more sense. Like, okay, well, he auditioned for this. He might have thought he had it. Then you came in and blew him out of the water, like whatever. But yeah, it's hard to say why he did what he did, especially because, like you said, we don't really know him. We don't know details, but the things that I was picking up on, I was just like, anybody that leaves home at 13 years old with in the back of a truck, if that's even how it happened, right, and is transported all the way to Miami and fends for himself for the rest of his life, like something is going on there. Mm-hmm. And it's been going on for a very long time. So
yeah, it might be a lot of trauma.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah. So yeah, that's my thought. It's just like, I gotta send some prayers up because folks are just, they're going through it. And we know the industry, well, at least from what we hear, there's some weird things going on there too. And so it's not too hard for me to believe like, okay, I want to keep my integrity intact. I want to keep parts of me intact. And so I'm not going to take any of these roles. Now, I don't know about any of them, but maybe those that are a little higher up or paid more or put you in certain spheres of influence. Maybe he had to say no. That's not hard for me to believe, but it's also not hard for me to believe that he may have spoken about something that maybe he shouldn't have, or been too loud or said too much. And then people just didn't want to work with him like that. It's not hard for me to believe either one. But this was very entertaining. I will say that the interview was. But what I do when we're on this show all the time, I think about like, this is people's real lives, right? Like we're going to cut the camera off and we're going to do whatever we do. For me, I'm going to celebrate my birthday tomorrow.
Hey,
shameless plug. My birthday tomorrow.
Little shameless plug.
My birthday tomorrow.
My birthday tomorrow. But like somebody's kids or grandkids are amongst that 18 million that's watched this. That's like, Papa, you did you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to explain that, to your kid or your nephew or your whoever. So, I mean, I hope that whatever Katt set out to do, that he can sleep at night and feels good about it. And those that, may have wronged him, it's done something to them that they won't do that to someone else, whatever that may be. So
yeah,
y'all know me, I be trying to be level-headed. Thank you.
Yeah. So first of all, happy birthday early.
Cheers. Happy Founders Day. I'll give you the floor.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Noops. Founders Day to the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. As far as Katt's go, Katt's interview rather, the biggest thing that bothered me was everything he was talking about or he was claiming was so inconsequential, right? We're talking about over 20, almost a 30-year-old joke that you're not even known for, whether it was yours or not. People don't remember you for that joke, right? Or that special. You then about someone who made a claim about a movie that launched you. Who cares about what Ricky Smiley said? Even if it was true, you still won. It launched your career. We don't remember Ricky Smiley from that movie. Like, we know he was there, but you stole the show. You did your thing. You won. You see what I'm saying? And the winner does not need to go and clarify history because the winner writes history. It's already written, bro. Steve Harvey. Like, what does anything you have said about these men and women have to do with you? What does that change what you have to get up and do tomorrow? Nothing, right? It doesn't change the course of history, your life, your career. Everything that you were still able to do happened after everything you were talking about. Your career happened after everything you're talking about, right? So what was the point? What did you gain? Well, no, that was a stupid question. We know what you gained. The internet is broken and everybody's paying attention to you now. So let me shut up there. What you gained is apparent, but the shrapnel, that could have happened. I think everybody will still be fine. I think Sid is probably taking the biggest hit. He'll still be fine because the world has, especially social media, has a short memory, and the next hot thing that comes up will be on to that. But I really think that we have to be careful and maybe have conversations and get clarity before we just, boom. I mean, Katt's been doing this for a minute. I found it, I posted it on someone's status, a video 7 years ago where he's going off on Kevin. I challenge you to this, and we can play basketball, and we can have 2 mics on stage and $1 million for each one. Like, bro, why? There's enough for everybody to win. There's no shortage of money out there. There's no shortage of stages out there. And if you're good at something, people are going to come to you. People are going to seek you out. And you are good, Katt. You are one of the best. You're one of the best, undeniably. I don't think that there are very few people. I'm sure there's someone. There are very few people in this world that can get up and say Katt Williams is not funny. And if they do say it, there's even fewer people that don't believe you, right? So stand on that. Get on the stage and on the screen and show people who you are. And you don't need to convince the world to believe you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't really see the point. It was very entertaining. Like, nonetheless, the world is talking. We're here on a night that we're not normally on talking about it. So mission accomplished. Let me say this. If it was anything, it was genius, because not only are we talking about it, we're filtering through what could be true and what's untrue, right? And even if only one thing is true, we're trying to figure out what that one thing is. So full marks for that. That was a stroke of genius. You see what I'm saying? I think the responses were also genius, especially Ricky Smiley, like taking the high road. We know he's dealing with the anniversary of his son's death, which can't be easy. And talking about a movie that nobody really talks about anymore. We'll talk about the first Friday, but Friday after next, it's like, we know it happened. It was good. Okay, but we're not sitting around the table talking about, hey, remember Friday after next? Even as good as Katt was, that's not one of the movies we talk about, right? We talk about a classic franchise, but of that franchise, the first one is always going to be, the best. So
the pinnacle.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody, all those brothers. I want to see everybody win. Katt, what I'm saying?
Yo, these comments.
Yeah.
These comments.
No. So if you believe
Y'all
Katt
have
Williams,
made it.
Said,
you believe that
we believe him. Comment the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm part of the world, and I don't believe him. So there's that. But y'all, Jermaine, bro, we thank you for rocking with us tonight. We appreciate you. Give us a quick bit about what you got coming up, what you got going on right now that you want the world to know about.
Absolutely, man. Well, the industry's kind of coming back
it's
to
supposed to be you. Hold on. Go ahead. I want to put you up there. Not me.
Well, first off, the industry's coming back from the strike, which is a blessing. It definitely slowed down a lot. But during that time, I was able to book a lot of commercials. Booked a Toyota commercial, Doritos commercial, Lay's commercial. So that was a blessing. But as of right now, man, I'm just doing a lot of things behind the scenes, doing a lot of writing. I have a short film that's going through the film festival market right now. I'm looking forward to. It's called Welcome. Produced by myself, written and directed by a good friend of mine named Drika Armstrong. So we're looking forward to that. Got 2 series I'm writing about. Got a film I'm writing on, so I'm staying busy, man. If you do want to catch me on the tube, on television, I was part of a show called Ratchet that was on Netflix, produced by Sarah Paulson, Ryan Murphy. It's a great series, crazy, hectic, twist turns, all the above. So check it out, Ratchet on Netflix. So, but yeah, your boy's still doing it, still doing my thing, and look out for me soon.
All right.
Bad, man. So y'all please make sure y'all follow this brother and everything that he's doing. A phenomenal talent, you know, and he's been doing it for a real long time. He looked young, but he's been in the game for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just celebrated a birthday myself, December 31st. So we're fellow Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Man, hey,
Yes.
happy belated.
Yes.
For sure. So y'all, first of all, these numbers have been ridiculous tonight. Thank everybody for rocking with us over in the comments, you know, like keeping everything engaged. We appreciate all the roadies and road dogs, y'all. If you haven't already, since y'all are still here, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, like and subscribe. Share this link. You know, people can still watch the replay. Y'all, we are so close to our goal, and we can't do it without you. So we can't encourage y'all enough. Yes, hit the bell so you can get them notifications. And everything else. And Niecy Tracy, if y'all want to check her out, we got an episode in season 1 called Put Me In Coach Part 1 and Part 2. So y'all go check her out in those episodes.
I gotta check that out because Niecy been crazy in these comments for real.
Yeah. She about that bit. So we got an episode, a 2-part episode with her.
That's my cousin.
Yeah.
I love it.
And Put Me In Coach. It's about dating over 40. You know,
as a
single
mom.
And as a single mom. So it was really, really good episode. So with that, y'all, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And until next time, always remember,
be free to be you. Take care.
Next time.
Bye.
Yeah.